What's going on, boys? RedFlamingo here. In today's video, we're talking about task forces and not so much what goes into gameplay or strategizing or what, just the kind of benefit you can have by being in the right task force and my opinion on the whole social aspect in task forces. Now, I've been a long time gamer. I've been playing, pretty competitively in video games for almost 15 years now, and honestly, I've had so much fun in a bunch of amazing games. But the thing I remember the most about those games are the relationships I made in them and the friends I made in them, and that kind of brings like a whole new element, to the games. Obviously, Boom Beach in particular is a really great game. Just the mechanics and how much fun it brings. But you know, how different would it be without task forces, without the social aspect, without this chat right here? It would be for most people anyway. It would be very different, and it would maybe not be as good for many people. Um, Being a long time Clash of Clans player, I'll just jump into attack here. I think I have a couple NPC bases. Being a long-time Clash of Clans player, I actually been playing Clash of Clans for over 3 years now, and there's people in that game that I've been playing with for over 3 years, which, if you think about it, it's pretty darn crazy. And I don't even have my whole army here actually, so we probably won't do any attacks. I've been with them for so long that, I do even keep in contact with a couple outside of the game, which, is pretty awesome because, uh, friendships have come out of that, which obviously we're primarily a Clash of Clans, friend, but just to say, I would log in many days just because of my friends in the game. Like, it wasn't so much as much that I was interested in actually playing the game, but at the time I didn't know this. I was logging in because I thought I loved Clash of Clans, but looking back, like not being such a Clash of Clans player anymore, uh, definitely looking back, I was able to realize that I loved Clash of Clans so much because of my friends and the people that I made. And Clash of Clans is kind of structured very differently than Boom Beach is. And by what I mean by that is Clash of Clans kind of has a global chat. So you see here, this is our task force chat. And in Clash of Clans, there's another option that allows you to tap into, a pool of people who aren't in your task force and who are maybe from, all the other countries. It's very international. I forget how they match you in different global chats. There is a cap as to how many people can be in each chat room. Um, but just using that as an example, you could go into global chat and recruit for your task force, let's say, if you were wanting to, pick up players. In Boom Beach, they said they wouldn't be putting in a global chat, which I can totally understand. Most of it is just spam anyway, but there is no option of going out and trying to recruit, players for your task force. Obviously, there's sites and stuff outside of the game, but those sites, they're very, um, there's a lot of rules and stuff. So let's say I am a very active leader, let's say, and I want to dedicate a lot of my time to, trying to make my task force better. Well, I can't do anything really in game as I can't pick up solo players, and I can't really do much else other than people can who are, let's say not as active of a recruiter as me, let's say, and they do end up putting a thread up on forums, let's say, same as I, but because I can't bump that thread more than once a day, I can't really do much more than the people who aren't very dedicated leaders. So just as an example, using that. But I do want to go through um, the suggested task force here and just show you guys something that I've kind of come to be aware of in the past few days. I have discussed this over the stream a couple times, but just to say that it's very hard to create a new task force and to have, people join you and have it be successful and become one of the, an active clan, let's say, or a big clan or task force, whatever. So we'll go through the task forces here, and I want to show you how most task forces that are, have 50 out of 50 players or a lot of force points, that's these points over here in white, um, they're mostly all task forces that were created at or near the first day that task forces came out. And if you think about the probability of or not the probability, but if you think about it in the big picture, like it makes sense that new task forces should have been formed since then. Like there's no reason for most task forces that are around today. Um, there's no reason that they should be the ones that were created on the first day. Like it's basically just rewarding people for having started one on the first day, opposed to guys who waited a little while. Um, so let's just go through it here. 37 out of 50 probably is an older task force. Let's go and see. Okay, so 419 days ago, task forces came out in an update. Um, as we can see, the first one we check out, and I haven't checked out any of these. This is just random that I'm checking these. Uh, Once I press this get more button, we'll see that it's all random. Uh, Maybe this one too, older, 415 days. That's 4 days after Task Forces came out. Let's go see. Well, Gang Boom is a buddy of mine, so we won't go to that one. As you can see here, the two things, it's not a random. Okay, here, 323 days, for example. Boom Kings, let's go see. Okay, 103 days. I really hope we do prove my point here, because I have been on stream looking at this, and most of times like 80% of the clans or task forces have been started on the first day, which it just doesn't make sense to me. Like in my opinion, 419. The majority of task forces that are active right now have been made on the first day. Which, okay, 17 out of 25. Let's go check this one out. 40 out of 50. Okay. In the last 160 days. Legion of Honor, 419. The problem that this creates, in my opinion, is this is just 9 people. Here, let's go 49 people. Okay, 120. So it does happen that there are task forces that sprout up and do well. 400. Ontario 200. Poland 419. The majority of the top task forces anyways are because people just keep cycling through those and aren't willing to go and try and build a new task force just because it is too hard. And obviously the main emphasis of this video is that something has to change as to how easily it is to recruit people. Having, in my opinion, leaders who pretty much have an unlimited stream of players, here 419, coming in just because they built their task force on the first day and they got a lot of people to join quick, just makes it the point I'm trying to make is a lot of leaders of clans or task forces shouldn't be leaders. They either lack leadership qualities or are, disrespectful or just obviously, if you had everybody in your clan being disrespectful and the leader is a disrespectful clan guy, then it works, right? But if you have people in your clan or in your task force who want to, uh, you know, who want to have, a say in the way the task force works, a lot of leaders who are leaders of task forces these days, um, they do things their way, which obviously they are leaders, so they have all the power to do so. But just to say, a lot of people have to put up with bad leaders, in turn um, breaking up the task force or ruining relationships within the task force. I'll talk about my experience, for example. I had friends who were in my task force, and maybe they were more hardcore than everybody else. But because the leader was so inactive and just so careless and a casual player, the people who were wanting to really take the next step and try and build something a lot more strong and get better every day were kind of turned away from the task force, and they ended up leaving. So, let's say I was their friend, that friendship that we had is no longer in existence because, I don't know where they are. We split up because, the let's say for, leadership purposes, the guys who were lucky enough to start a task force on, at the beginning, so another 419, lucky enough to start a task force early on, maybe shouldn't be in charge of calling all the shots. Another 419, it's just too common of a thing. Another 419. These are all packed task forces. And, I just think people that should be leaders are being overlooked because they're not able to start their own task forces and be successful. It's way too hard to start your own thing unless you have here another 400 days. Unless you maybe steal people from other task forces or a task force implodes and you kind of take over the people, or another almost 400 days. And Supercell did say they were going to be fixing this issue. It's good that they've recognized that, something should kind of be done. But here, 8,000, so 411 days. It's rare, we did find a few that were with, over 100 days, between 100 and 200 days, but have we found one that's been in the last 100 days? It's very, very rare. Another one. Started the first day task forces came out. The majority, and take my word for it, because I've been on this theory for a while, and I've been actually checking most of my, here, a day right after task forces were made. I've been checking this all the time. Here, another one. First day task forces came out. Let's just keep going because we're on a roll here. The last 10 or so have been like 400 days. Firestorm. Okay, 29 days. Cool. Are they, good for him, man. Seriously. It's just something that I think can improve relationships within this game. And I'm just tired of losing friends with people because of, let's say, a bad leader or that's why I did end up making my own task force about 30 days ago, and we are going pretty strong here. So hopefully, this is the last time I'll have to deal with um, that issue, as I think I do have, patience, and I am open-minded. So hopefully everybody's happy and they stick around for a while. But just to shed light on one of the things that I think can improve most Boom Beach players, um, playtime throughout the game. and really build those relationships that I think can make their time a lot more enjoyable. That's all for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, check out tomorrow's video. I'd appreciate you if you go to subscribe. And I am streaming every day at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can check me out on Twitch, and there's a link in the description of this video here. So take it easy and have a nice day. Bye.